Popular Class D boards overview. Part 3. ICEpower. ICEpower is leading Class D amplifier boards development with broad lineup and great products. Hypex evolved from consumer and DI electronic company. ICEpower started as a professional company with roots and investors from the well-known brand Bang & Olufsen. I got a question why I don't design my solutions on excellent Hypex and Purify boards. The simple answer is that the final product is meant to be sold. You can make products that are the greatest and the best of the best, but when price is not right, you can't sell them in the target volumes. In many cases, we often start our designs with predefined framework, known target price, dimensions, weight, components provider, and many other things. Your design should fit in this frame. ICEpower lineup is giving more flexibility for designs, more products, more choices, and only some of them fits in DI market. The rest of them are for professional applications. But let's go back to ICEpower. I was so impressed by the products they designing that took time to look back to history. In early days, Karsten Nielsen did in-depth study of this technology and combined it in the PhD dissertation. Audio power amplified techniques based on efficient power conversion. Bang & Olufsen recognized potential and started investing in this direction. They found a partner in chip development and large customer Samsung working in mobile telecommunications. Finally, spin-off buyout and competitors union to focus efforts. And we are there, ICEpower brand. I started Class D project development a long time ago when hi-fi people said that this technology is for woofers and shall never be at the level of audiophile requirements. My researches, early designs and experiments discovered that there is potential and it is a future technology. Today I have proved that Class D outperforms and takes over Class AB designs. Class D wins everywhere: footprint, power, efficiency, costs. And today they are taking over the audiophile market with quality. I did tons of blind tests and even built the highest grade speakers to listen to smallest details of the sound. With the right architecture, Class D amplifiers meeting point that there is no reason for further improvement. We need to switch our attention to speaker design and active speaker architecture. This is the next step towards a perfect sound system. And look to ICEpower history, from niche player to part of famous names in the music industry. Let's start with the first successful products. Two boards that you can find on eBay and AliExpress. ASX2 series. Some of the boards have second iteration keeping the same footprint. These are the most famous and most sold boards. Later we will find out what is unique in those boards. 2x 50 watts and 2x 125 watts in stereo. Capable work on 4-ohm loads in bridged mode. Remember this remark for later. And there is one more board with an output power of 250 watts. By design it meant to drive subwoofer. Usage scenarios. 250 ASX2 can deliver 600 watt to 8 ohms. That's a lot of power in small footprint. 3-way active. Interesting active speaker configuration where 125 ASX2 driving woofer, 50 ASX2 driving tweeter, and two 4-ohm mid-ranges in parallel. 8-channel amplifier. That would be an excellent home theater or multi-speaker distribution system for reasonable price. I did not mention 250 ASX2 in stereo. There are better solutions with 125 ASX in bridged connection with almost the same price. Look at the functions. Not everyone knows that 250 ASX2 does not provide full bandwidth. Otherwise, very well designed features. Take your time to enjoy specifications. Small footprint, high power at 4 ohms in bridged mode. For me, it is hard to imagine what is missing there. I made 3-way stereo active speaker system from 4 125 ASX2 boards, 2 boards in bridged mode and 2 boards in stereo for mids and tweeter. Combined with analog active crossover Behringer Super X Pro CX3400 stereo. When I demonstrated system performance to musicians community, they didn't believe that such sound is possible. AS series. Those are the latest generation designs targeting active systems and high-end markets with the flexibility to touch the board to the heatsink. For the ASX series, heatsinks was included in design, for AS series not. This series of boards covering everything, starting from budget Texas Instruments chip amps to high-end power boards. You can build stereo, monoblocks, three-way active. Sometimes I'm wondering how the product team can manage such a large inventory for production and keep volumes as well. Some of the board's functionality is overlapping, making internal competition. 300 AS1 can be used for three-way active systems and has channel attachment flexibility. 700 series for the projects when high power and reasonable budget is required. Kilowatt series 1200 AS1 and 1200 AS2 is a flagship model. You can design high power active stage speakers, high reliability, a lot of telemetries, balanced input, wake up from signal combined with exceptional audio quality. If you want to build one and forever amplifier, then 1200 ASX2 will be my choice. In stereo, it's capable of delivering 600 Watt per channel. It has phase correction circuits and automatic operation from 80 volts to 250 mains. A different angle to the product line. And some applications. Here you can build broad range of subwoofers, or broad range of stereo systems, or powerful multi-channel systems, active speakers mixing speaker impedances, 4-ohm subwoofer systems, and the crazy power combinations for live performance. Here you can see board specs summary. Check by yourself. Regarding power ratings, look only at 1% figures. 10% distortion power numbers are marketing figures and we will ignore them. This series of amplifiers have an input voltage range from 85 to 264 volts and you can operate in any country in the world. 1200 ASX1 and 2 is standing out of the crowd with exceptional specifications. All boards distortions, even a worst scenario, are far below 0.1%, what is the audibility threshold. The same for 300 AS1. And 1200 AS1 and 2 fantastic specs. Maybe it is worth building one prototype and take a test. So far I didn't find application scenario for such a power. And boards are kind of expensive. ASP series or professional series. This is professional series ICEpower lineup with exclusive specifications and integrated heatsink. Low profile design easy fits in 1U enclosure. It's easy to integrate those boards into active speaker system. Those units targeting the live sound and mobile sound market. Boards are 2-ohm capable. Despite good specifications, they did not gain audiophile and DI attention. 250 watt solution. There is an ISP main board with power supply and extension bus to connect A-series boards. A-series of boards are smaller in dimensions and without power supply, giving extra flexibility to build 2- or 3-way active speaker systems. 500 watt version. Pay attention to the dimensions. There is no significant dimension difference between 250 and 500 watts boards. Kilowatt version. You can build a really powerful active speaker for live sounds. Combined with high efficiency speakers, you can get impressive sound pressure. Reliable systems with tons of protection. Typical application scenarios. Once we are not using them so much for DI market, I will not go through in the details. Features and specifications. Balanced inputs. Meeting professional requirements. 2 ohms ready, low noise, high current capabilities. Harmonic distortions, good. Extension modules, sharing the majority of ASP board functionality and specifications. So, we covered most of ICEpower integrated audio amplifier boards lineup. In this story, we did not touch the brick series. Brick series boards are meant for designers to be integrated into compact solutions. And there is my pick from the total lineup. 125 ASX2 for sure, 200 AS2 for budget, and 1200 AS2 for high-end systems. 125 ASX2 is by far the universal board where you can build 125 watt stereo amplifier, 500 watt outstanding quality monoblock, excellent three-way active speaker system using two boards. Unique feature, you can separate woofer amplifier power supply from mids and tweeter amplifier. It is important because the amplifier output stage has a direct relation to power supply bus fluctuations. The woofer is power hungry and takes a lot of current. Separating them, we have perfect clean mid and tweeter reproduction. 125 ASX2 has unique design flexibility and the best quality price-performance ratio. When I talk to ICEpower teams, they confirm that this module is selling in volumes, outperforming other lineup. It is not surprised that it is a board that has a second release or version 2. Current genuine ICEpower 125 ASX2 is different from eBay available boards, what are version 1. I have a video where I compared both boards. In this picture you can see the current version of 125 ASX2. 200 AS2. Excellent board for budget designs with balanced input, good specifications, and power supply with broad mains voltage regulation. You can use them in 110 volts and 220 volts countries. Just plug and play. I will make a kit or even finished unit with this board. Target market, gamers and music lovers with desktop speakers. And finally, the winner of perfection, 1200 AS2. In the stereo version, it is capable to deliver 600 watts stereo to 4 ohm, both channel driven. It fits in the top lineup audiophile amplifier category. It is hard to imagine scenarios when you are short with a power of 600 watts at a listening distance of 3 to 5 meters. Even you have large speakers and large premises. 1 kilowatt and more at home are exceptional cases. True, this is my favorite board, and let's take a closer look at specifications and functions. Manufacturer description. You can stop video and read it through. Features. Read it by yourself. I will draw your attention to line universal mains with active power factor correction. This is only ICEpower model with PFC circuits. 1200 ASX2 has exceptionally good power supply, but it comes with the costs, and board price is not cheap. Another interesting feature is waking up from signal, usable to remote on-off, and it is built in. Incredible specifications for kilowatt amp. Very low noise at 30 microvolts. 3 ohm capable, can drive challenging crossovers. It is large in size and length. You should consider 2U enclosure. A lot of controls and telemetry. If you are interested, just stop a video. I will quickly click through. Audio specifications. Pay attention to continuous power dispatch and thermal considerations. Mechanical dimensions and hall map. Important for chassis design. Frequency response. Excellent. Total harmonic distortions is very good even at high frequencies, so typically is challenge for high power class D designs. Noise. Channel separation. Output impedance. Damping factor. 700. Output versus mains. Dissipated power, important for designers. Cooling may be a challenge in a closed environment. I would make it active. This board is too good to be cooked. Board has very good balanced preamplifier. This is true by the book and part of the good design. Unbalanced connection to keep high common mode noise reduction figures. A wake-up signal connection diagram. Board wiring diagram. For minimum noise floor, twist speaker output cables. The majority of speaker output cables are not twisted. You can take 2 wires, electric drill, and twist them for any length needed. Things to avoid in your design. Important manufacturer note. Read it by yourself. Safety and electromagnetic certificates. Important when selling in European Union. Can you purchase it in open market? Sometimes yes. It would be an interesting DIY project with extra complexity. This is how standard package looks like. This is a minimum purchase quantity package. There are some designs, how 1200 ASX2 designs look like. Example from Apollon audio lineup. Not a good example of engineering design. Boards are cooking inside the caches. Far better design. Vertical placement with airflow. Good design. A couple of DI projects. People struggling to find appropriate caches. You can see that a large heatsinks is not used. There are several DI designs and all of them struggling with the cooling airflow. When you heat up the caches, inside temperature will be 50 to 70 degrees of Celsius. Some of the semiconductor temperature will rise to 100 degrees of Celsius. Electrolytic capacitors lifetime reduce. Great high power boards need cooling. Either you create chimney type airflow using 3U height units with the proper vents or make active cooling solutions. 1 kilowatt is a lot of power and summers at some places are hot. So that's it. It was a short overview of ICEpower Class D boards. Impressive. ICEpower leading the market. Some of the designs are truly amazing. I don't know how many iterations of prototypes has been developed prior final release to achieve such perfection. Interesting that the latest generation of boards have been produced in Malaysia, not in China. My guess, to protect intellectual property. There are not many companies in the world specializing in Class D OEM boards. It is tough business where you should be ahead of the market all the time. Quality of audio amplifiers meeting point that there is no reason for further improvement. You can measure better device, but human can't hear. I think that the next fight will be about dimensions and power per square centimeters. In the next episode, we will look to company Purify, newcomer in the market. The company has been established by brilliant and experienced engineers. They focus on technology beyond today's standards. A new type of loudspeakers with exceptional linearity. Amplifier boards with total harmonic distortions below 0.00017%, what is not achievable by Class AB technologies even in theory. Enjoy!